shows the different lines laid down under the direction of the commissioners, 1838, and this seems to coincide with this map. You can see here, and then you've got, this is the population at the time by, and incidentally Skibbereen had a population of, is it 5,000? 4,420. Rosscarbery, 1,522.
Rosscarbery was a very serious university town.
Yeah.
Before Cromwell.
Clonakilty was smaller, 3,807. Yeah. Kinsale, 7,312. Bandon, 9,917. Bantry, 4,275. Just a little bit smaller. And the funny thing is that Dublin, I would have thought might say Dublin is 204,000 and Cork is 101,000. So Cork was half the size of Dublin. Now it would be a fifth, probably, wouldn't it? Cork's about 300,000, and Dublin's about 100,000. Yeah. And Dublin's half. Well, Dublin's, I think, 1.5 million. This is even more interesting to me. The thickness of the lines is in proportion to the amount of traffic. So this shows the relative quantities of traffic. So, I mean, it's a brilliant way of illustrating it. And then, so the fatter the lines, the more you'll think. But nevertheless, on top of that, it has the number of movements. And this is actually the, I think it's the daily movements. Let me just think, both going in different directions. Constructed under the Commission in 1837. So, and it shows the exports as well. And look at Cork. And nearly as big as Dublin. The exports from Cork, 80,000 tonnes, a value of 2.9 million, and imports 200,000, value of less than the imports, even though they were much, I mean, they were probably cheaper goods, and they were actually less in value. But Kinsale was quite an important port in those days. Even Skibbereen had exports of 7,000 tonnes and imports of 1,500. And you see them coming up the This is coming up the inland here. That's Inish Bay. This one here is the relative number of passengers in different directions. So between Rosscarbery and Skibbereen, you had this is daily, I think, by regular, 35 movements. Between Bantry and Dunmanway, 21. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. They must have had people standing. And then this is the most beautiful map. This is the geological map. And it shows, it's the only coloured map here, but it's just fantastic. So here's Cork. And so this is, I mean, I'm not, do you know much about geology? It's nearly all grey. The bottom part is altered rocks in the neighbourhood of granite, clay, slate. This is the final, which is on this way. This is what they think the railways, it just shows in 1838, the railways of the whole of the British Isles, the railways completed, which are in black lines, and then the proposed railways and then lines of railways laid down under the direction of the commissioners. And here you've got a line, proposed line, going all the way out to and that must be Skull, because there's Bear Island. That was the original idea, Cork, and it didn't even touch Bandon. It went Mallow, Cork. I don't know why to Skull. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, they had a big base in Bear Island.
Oh, is that the for military
base.
purposes?
Military, yeah.
Yeah, because most of the lines were, I thought, I mean, certainly Baltimore was for trade, wasn't it? It was for fish. It was for the, particularly the herring, fish and timber as well, was it?
Timber for the boat building.
Okay.
Big,
Right.
huge trunks of trees from
Right.
the Midlands.
And is it true that they could get to Billingsgate within about 24 hours?
24 hours, yeah.
Amazing. The thing I missed that the Baltimore Extension had to produce accounts, and there was and there must be someone else that's interested in it, because there was a set of accounts for about 1899 which came up for sale in one of the in a sale room in London, and I didn't think anyone would be interested, but I thought it would be fun, and I did actually see pictures of the guy. Made huge losses. I don't think the Baltimore Extension ever made any money at all. I think it was like quite a few. It wasn't unique in that. A lot of these. It was a big bubble. In fact, it was like the Tulip or the South Sea bubble. Some lines did really well, and a bit like the canals too. And then everyone piled in, and they built lines in the most ridiculous places. And I don't think the Baltimore Extension ever made any money. But someone else was much more interested than me. They went for hundreds of pounds, these accounts. So I'm afraid I haven't got this. But, it's just a lovely bit of history, isn't it? And everything, what was so remarkable was that everything about the railways was so well done. I mean, the station, there was no cost. Well, there was a cost cutting by the contractors, but the station buildings were really fine. Really fine buildings. Even the level crossing buildings. You can see they still stand, and there's many of them being converted. The quality of the work, and the things I think you might be put on display there. Even the things that the railwaymen carried to show that they were authorised. These bloody great timber things, giving them authorisation. The beautiful way that the things that you put in for the control the points. With lovely brass stamped. Skibbereen in Baltimore, each one different, so you could. They only worked on one set of points, and that was just fantastic. There was only one station between Skibbereen and Baltimore, and that was Cree. And Cree, when you think of it, had Cree House. It was just by the Inish, just only about 100 feet, 100 maybe, not much, not even 100 yards away from Inishbeg Cross. But the population, such as it was more at Ra, but they didn't put it there. They put it here, and apparently it was known as a landlord's station. So it was for the convenience of people that lived in Cree and that lived here. And I don't think any of them ever used it.
But where did your first interest in trains come from?
Well, I wanted to be a train driver when I was a kid. Everyone asked that. What do you want to be when you grow up? I always said I wanted to be a train driver. I loved the idea of. When you're a child and you look at these things, I mean, they were probably the biggest things as a 3-year-old you'd ever seen. Certainly the biggest thing that could move. They were, they were monsters and huffing and puffing and steam. And, and that's so much Chorn's literature was about that, Thomas the Tank Engine and all the Reverend Audrey's books on that. And, I mean, every boy, I don't think I was unusual in that. Every kid was like trains.